Hi everyone, I am Elif Köse and this is Confidence Leads to Success and welcome. I have got a phenomenal woman here, Tomi Abibu. She is stunning. I was lucky to meet her only 6 to 8 months ago, I think, through a power of virtual world, which has connected me through across the globe to so many phenomenal women, and I feel so lucky. Tommy, let me introduce you. Tommy is an entrepreneur wearing many hats, from building a pharmaceutical company in the UK to hosting her own talk show, Myths and Minefields. I was very honored to be one of her guest speakers last year, and she is really on a mission to help businesses with their media and marketing and helping them grow by collaborating with the right partners. So I'm going to welcome you, Tomi, so you can tell us exactly what you do, and I'd like to hear your inspirational story in entrepreneurial world. Hi.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, Elif. It's an honor to be here with you today. I'm so super excited and I'm so happy that I'm here. Okay, so I'm Tomi Abibu and I currently run a media and marketing company here in the UK, and where I focus on elevating brands through media, through video production, and then helping them to stand out and create engaging videos so that they can, reach more audience, and send out their message, clarify so that in their market share. So that is what I do for our businesses, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey.
I love
Now,
that.
yeah. So for me, I mean, my entrepreneurship journey started way in 2009, where I started with building up a pharmaceutical manufacturing company here in the UK from scratch, right? Anytime I say that story, people are like, "Are you
It's not
kidding
just a
me?"
cafe or anything like the pharmaceutical manufacturing company in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
UK.
yeah.
Wow.
I think I was one of those people when I was young that I was so bold with regards to, I would say to myself, okay, I've just finished university. What's the worst that can happen? If I don't take the risk now, when do I want to take the risk? And I'm so glad that I did, because I learned a lot in the journey. I
What a
mean,
courageous move. Well done.
yeah, yeah. And one thing I found is that, it's so easy to be in one position and assume that things will change without you taking action. But I was fortunate enough to read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which elevated me
Do you
with
know, I
regards to
haven't
my,
read that book. I gotta read
oh,
that. I have
yeah.
not read that book.
Yeah, yeah. And that really helped me and propelled me to start that company here in the UK, and which I exited in 2017. And then since then, I've been helping small businesses grow their business in terms of support. And through that journey, I realized that a lot of, in fact, 99% of small, medium-sized enterprise have this main issue, and which is marketing. Marketing is something that has not been understood by a lot of people. People assume that when you just put money into marketing, then it should work. There is a scientific thing with marketing, that it's more about testing and learning. And what are you testing? Haven't done understand it anyway. Without boring you, it,
No, no, no.
that
It's really good because a lot of the entrepreneurs, when they're on the early days of their journey, they don't really know. They know they're being told marketing, they're being told the sales. But what I've noticed, that a lot of people mix between sales and marketing, and they're two completely different, even though they're interlinked. They're
Mhm,
two different parts of the business. So
mhm,
marketing on itself,
mhm,
I would love you to enlighten us and our
mhm.
listeners. Marketing in itself, that divides in between, doesn't it?
Yeah, see, marketing, the way I want to I want to simplify marketing and sales. Sales is more psychology. Yes, it's more psychological. You have to understand how the human psychology in order to be successful in sales. Whereas marketing is very, very scientific. is the ability to test, to put a hypothesis out there, test that hypothesis and learn from the data. And if you think about it, that is pure science, because you are in a journey. You have a business right now, and you're assuming, oh, this product is good. This this kind of people. I mean, young female mothers or whatever your target audience is, they are going to love your product because of the benefit it gives to them, which is fine. That is still theory. That is hypothesis. The fact that it works from a specific brand doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you.
That's
What is the
right.
perception that people are going to have with your product? And that is the hypothesis that you're putting out. You're creating your brand identity, your brand message, your brand, your brand file, your brand profile is you creating, this hypothesis that this is going to work. You've done all your
Mm-hmm.
homework.
I,
Now you
I
have
love
to
that.
test it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're testing it, here is a mistake that I myself have made in the past. We want to test it for this group everywhere. We want to test it in this town, this city, this country, this social media platform here. We want to test it everywhere. But no, it has to be niched down in a specific place, test and learn. See how people, resonate with you. And then whatever data that you get out from that, then you use that again, you kind of start expanding on that, start expanding. Once you're successful in a specific area or location, then you expand. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
you remember, I want to give this analogy, when, not Uber, congestion charge started. Remember
Yes.
congestion charge in London, right? It was tested in a small location, right? In a very small location, right, where they're charging people. Now is expanding. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? It's
Yes, but
expanding.
when I want to scale these down to a new starters, these entrepreneurs in their
Hmm.
early days, they haven't got much money, they haven't got much time. They really need to turn their bit of cash that they invested in this business and turn it into at least perhaps not make so much profit, but not at least do a loss on this business. So how could they scale that? How could they test it in a way that they don't? Because it's time consuming, isn't it, to test the market? So
Well,
what do you mean by that? So if they were working with small budgets, if they were actually trying to even build their confidence, because it's all down. I mean, you are such a courageous, confident woman when it comes to business, and you really inspire me. But what I want to really hear that how could these entrepreneurs, these women who have started, perhaps they're in a certain level in their business and with certain income, but they really are ready to step up and get their income to the next level. How
mhm.
could they? Is that where your collaboration part of your branding comes in?
Yes and no. If you're starting out or you have a very small marketing budget, that is when niching down comes into place. See, a
Mm,
lot of people might be able to use your product. So let's just take one product as an example. You might have, I don't know, a healthy snack, for example, right? A healthy snack. Now, mothers that have just given birth and want to lose weight may want to have that healthy snack, but they don't have time to. They want to lose weight. It could be like a city woman that is very busy, can't cook, and just wants something in her pocket where if she gets hungry, she can snack on. It could be like a gym fanatic, right? So I've listed out three different markets. So when I say test the market, I don't mean testing like a whole bunch of a whole city, for example. So you have to decide who is more likely to buy this product from these three categories. Yes, these three categories can buy your product, but you don't want to start marketing those to those three categories. So your aim is to choose one, right? And there are ways in which to identify which one you should choose. First of all, who's going to value your product more, meaning that they can pay good money for it, right? There's no point selling to someone that is going to because you're spending so much time and so much money creating that product that you wouldn't have enough profit. So who's going to value your product more? which kind of market do you enjoy working with? So if I'm a gym fanatic myself, maybe I'm not saying that's true. Maybe I love working with gym fanatics. If I'm a mother that just given birth or something, maybe I enjoy working with mothers. So it's a combination of all of that. But my point is, choose one market. So when I say one market, that's what I'm referring to. And you start with that one, and that reduces your cost dramatically. That alone reduces your cost dramatically. Then you have to decide, how do you reach out to them. And I want to mention, name one thing, say one thing. A lot of people think about social media is great. I'd have any problem with social media, but social media is just one avenue for reaching out.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know there's YouTube, there is LinkedIn, there is Instagram, but it's still one avenue. You have to expand your mind. Okay, how else can I reach these people? Right? There's so many other ways you can reach people. Dropping leaflets, going to networking. There's so many other. I'm not going to expand, but my
Would
point
you
is,
would you recommend people to start in their area, start community and grow out
yeah,
rather
that is
than
fun.
go global and try to niche down afterwards?
No, no, that is where the problem is, because social media has and this platform have made it easy for people to do ads. And that's why many people think, I can't afford ads, I'm wasting so much money. But it's more than that. You can start with your area. You can start with your area and grow. And that is part of testing. You don't need this massive formula, because if you are not able to sell to a small group of people within your market, then you gotta ask yourself, am I actually solving a problem? These people are going to be the people that are going to tell you, right? Give you that information to help you change the way either you're selling or the way you position yourself, adjust your positioning properly, and then you can start expanding. So when I say testing, you're starting really small. You're starting with your local, like your website, make it optimized for local businesses, local people to sell. Start locally. You can do marketing locally. You could do social media targeting, but locally. You could do website targeting, but locally. My point is, start small. None of these big
Yeah.
companies, even no matter how big they are, when they are introducing a new product or a new brand into the market, they just don't go wide. They start with a very small kind of a market to test and see whether their hypothesis is right. And that is where I believe that as an entrepreneur, your mind, you have to sort of restructure the way you think about marketing and think about, what, yes, I want to reach a lot of people, but I've got to start small. I've got to start from a very, very small amount of people and test whether what I
It's
have
good.
hypothesized, whether it's right or wrong.
Ladies, this is gold. Honestly, great information you're sharing here. It's because what happens is we get what by starting this way, you also get to know yourself, how you are as a leader and what's your weaknesses. And then if you need help, which areas that you need help with, because getting too big, let's say, I mean, I asked this question to myself. If I suddenly had like 20 orders in one day to make a wedding dress, I would not be able to possibly deliver it as a
Mhm.
as a as a fashion designer, because I haven't got the large enough team to deliver to my standard, even if I was to hire someone to do it straight away. So you have to build gradually. You can't just do it overnight. I mean, overnight
Yeah.
success exists, but I don't know how.
I'm not sure.
Do you believe me?
I'm not sure whether overnight success it's a reality. I think it's a myth, and I should speak about that in my podcast, Myths Minefields.
But it's
It
a,
is a
it's
myth.
it's a groundwork behind it. They may have done the sale of that overnight, but the groundwork, the behind the
Mhm.
scene of that, whatever the product or the service they've sold, would have taken them months.
Of
prepare.
course.
So I
Mm,
don't think over when people listen, I'd love people to listen to this, because when you hear these entrepreneurs and these big names out there to say that overnight success, I sold out in one night, I made 1 million in 1 month, you think, yes, you did, but how much you put into that? And people don't know what goes behind. So people like to see the flashy, sparkly part of this story,
mm,
not the
mm,
reality.
mm.
And when you look from outside, everything looks perfect, but it's just not always the same, is it?
Yeah, yeah. And another thing I want to add is that
Go for it.
the how would I put it? The misconception is when these messages go out, and especially on social media, in terms of this overnight successes, is that you are under the assumption that they are doing the work. Remember, these people, they've got experts. So when it comes to, for example, marketing, they have a team of people responsible for their marketing. They have a team of people responsible for the operational back end. They have people responsible for their sales. They are not doing the sales and doing the marketing and doing the operational and doing the, they're not doing all of that. They have developed their own team to do that, and that's why they are able to achieve that success. Now, as you as an entrepreneur, small business or medium sized business, you want to establish, first of all, do you have the right team to execute this mission, this goal of yours, right? Even if you don't have a large team, whatever your budget is, what can you achieve in that budget? So that is going back to what I said, is that don't start very big. Start with a small, I don't know, section, location, target market. Start small and then grow. And then you can be able to have that budget, increase your budget to be able to get the right team in so that you as a person, as an entrepreneur, can achieve similar goals. So it's not that these goals are not achievable. They are achievable, but remember, they have the best of the best in within their team to achieve that goal. The question is, do you have the right team to help you achieve the same?
That's right. That's exactly what I meant. Yeah, it is so important. Right. What I have had a question for you. Um, when you when you say about collaboration for branding, for brand exposure, what do you mean by that? What do you recommend? Let's say service-based businesses. How do you recommend them to collaborate? How do they find the right people to collaborate to help their business exposure?
Okay, so when I say collaboration, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that an agreement that you have to sign. It's more of you going out there and networking and meeting people, understanding what services other people are offering, and then obviously talking about your services. Now, you are going out there and you're keeping your ears out, and your eyes, open. So when that opportunity comes, you can refer people, and businesses love it when you refer them. Even say, for example, I know what you do, you know what I do. Now, if I go out there and I see a need for what you do, I'm like, oh, I know of someone that actually does that. And then what happens? You have me in your mind, right? When opportunity arises, you would refer me. A very good example was last week. I went to a business, a networking event where I met an HR consulting company, and one of my clients just said to me recently, well, that she needs an HR company to help her with her HR department. And what happened? I contacted that consultant. Said, look, I've got a client for you, to that you might be able to help. And then she was very, very grateful when and that has created additional relationship for myself. Now she knows what I do as media marketing. So if anyone has that need or service, she knows whom to refer to. And that is what I mean with regards to collaboration. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you are signing any agreement. It's more of building that relationship. And the more people you're able to do that for, the more chances you have for people to know more about you and the businesses and the services that you offer.
Amazing. I love the way You put it together. I could listen to you all day. Okay, I've got another question I've written down for you. My computer has been very slow today. Um, so when entrepreneurs decide to, some people like yourself get out of university and start their own business. Some are a bit like me, they haven't got much of a choice. They think that's the only way they can earn money and they start their own business. But some of us are lucky that they have an experience of working for corporate world and get that corporate education in a way, because most of those companies let their um, team members to take some courses and coachings before they take the role. So how could those people, how could us, even myself, let's say, how could we utilize our experience
Mhm.
and reflect on our business from your expert point?
I'm going to flip. I'm going to change a little bit what you said with regards to if you're coming from a
Yeah,
corporate world in terms of you've got the training. And this is my opinion anyway. I believe that if you are in a corporate world, I feel that you are more likely to struggle in business because you have things. You're in a corporate world, you have you know different departments, you have people responsible for different things, right? It
yeah.
has been built for you. When you move into an entrepreneurship or business world, it's a totally different ball game.
You do
You have
all.
to build it yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a total, your confidence in a corporate world is totally different. Your experience in the corporate world is different when it comes to business, right?
Mm,
You might have built this ability to build relationship, which is great in business, ability to speak, to conduct meetings with confidence. But when it comes to running a business, it is a totally different skill. It's something that has to be relearned. Even if you are very like you're educated and you have this MBA and you have so many qualifications. In fact, I believe that a lot of too many of these qualifications hinders you to actually come out and step out into the real by yourself to get things done. So I would not be. I feel that it's a misconception. I feel if you're in the corporate world and you're continuing in the corporate world, great. If you're moving into the business world, you have to relearn a lot of things because
and
you are on your
unlearn a
own.
lot of things.
Yeah. And unlearn a lot of things. Yeah. Because in
Mhm,
a corporate world, you have the brand behind you, right? You have the brand already built behind you. But
mhm.
imagine if you have to build a brand by yourself. It's a totally different skill you have to learn.
I'd like to uh, us to help those women coming out of corporate world, especially in the last 18 months. I know so many women who've lost their jobs because of COVID. They've been made redundant, and they feel this is the only time they may um, get to become their own boss and start. And some of her are aware of their issues that comes by from working from corporate world. So
Hmm.
I'd like us to kind of give them this courage to how could they get their brand, get their business foundation right, so they have it strong from the day one. What could they do?
Well, having a strong foundation from day one, it's not going to happen. Let's just call a spade a spade. But the amazing thing is because they've built that confidence, they've built that experience in the corporate world, they are good. And that's why they got to that level in which they are. Because the first thing that is going to knock their confidence is the fact that maybe they come out of, they lost their job, they can't get a new job. Now, how do I start from the beginning? Now, remember, when it comes to business, you're literally starting from scratch. The fact that you're a six-figure earner before, when you're starting from a business, you're not going to start earning six
You're from
figures. You have
six figure minister, perhaps.
so that alone can knock someone's confidence. So it's
That's
the
true.
ability to understand that you know what, it's literally giving birth to a child for the first time. You're going to learn, no matter how much books you've read about taking care of babies, it's not the same until you have your own baby, right?
Yeah.
So having that mindset, I'm gonna start. Be willing to be open to learn, right? Because when you're up there and you're starting from here, it's a difficult place to start. So be open-minded to learn and be willing to continually improve yourself with regards to entrepreneurship, and don't rush it.
I love it.
When you want to rush success, that is where problem starts. And I have done it in the past, right? You
Yeah.
know, you want to rush it because you know where you want to be, but you have to go through that startup phase. There's no company that started did not go through that startup phase. That startup phase of testing and learning, failing and testing and learning. You know, you want to fail a little bit, you want to have make little mistakes, but you don't want to fail a lot. You don't want to make huge mistakes that puts you way behind the game, right? And that is you
You've got to
taking,
have grit. If you want to become
yeah,
an entrepreneur, you've got to have a grit, perseverance, and
yeah,
determination, and
yeah,
be ready to be humiliated at times,
yeah.
ladies, because there will be times that you'll make a mistake, and some people
Mhm.
will tell you the truth in a very hurtful way, and you've got to be able to brush
Yeah,
your tears away and continue walking, and
yeah,
don't allow your emotions to get on your way, because it does come. And as a mother, as a, to a 3-year-old with multiple businesses myself, I have my days that I feel I don't really want to do this today. But one thing that you do is you're committed. But
mm,
when you work for other companies, you have got the luxury of to say, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well today, I won't come to
yeah,
work. So you don't have that. Is
yeah,
that right,
yeah.
Tommy? Would
Right,
you
sorry.
agree?
I totally agree, and that happened to me not too long ago. I'm just literally recovering. I was hoping and I'm praying I'll be able to meet this meeting today, this podcast today,
Yeah,
because over the past week, like almost 2 weeks now, I've been having this viral. It's not COVID because I've done tests three
yeah.
times and it's not COVID, but it's just this a viral thing that I'm being shaken off my body. I've been so weak, having temperature. And guess what? It made me realize there's still part of my business that I'm the person responsible for, that have not literally delegated that out. And I realized that, oh my goodness, there is no one responsible for this, and I can't do this, and I have this work needs to be done on a regular basis. And that brought, that was a big reality for me. So you have to, as an entrepreneur, ensure that you have different services, especially your operational services, covered as an entrepreneur. Because when
Love
you're
it.
ill, when you're sick, your business has got to run. And that happened. I mean, that just happened to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, immediately I put um, information out there to get a person in to be able to cover that role, because you're not a machine. There's going to be a time where you're going to need that rest, that mental rest,
So
and
I like
someone else
I
has to be
like
able to
that
do that.
you talked about this, because a lot of the people, when we say this, they may argue that, "Oh, yeah, but I haven't got the budget or a regular income to commit to have someone in my team." But what I want to recommend people, that you don't always have to hire somebody to work for you for your business. You can always get contractors who are
Mm,
willing to do what you do. Someone like yourself who's working for themselves would happily help you out for your small
mm,
projects or big projects. So, do you do that as a business owner? Do you get contractors help you if you get
yeah.
stuck? If you need extra help? I do. I always have.
Yeah, I've always had, for example, I have a mixture of staff and I have a mixture of virtual assistant, right? So I've always had that. So hence, I know that when people say that there's no budget or anything, I just said you have to know where to go to when you need an
Yeah.
emergency support. I literally have a folder right now. I have a folder that has all my collaborators on. All my I
Love it.
call them collaborators or suppliers or contract. I call them that because I know for their names, their details, and the functions in which they do. Now
Mhm.
that is good to have when you need. But the danger of that as well is that if it's something that you need to train someone for, you have to have that element. You have to account for that period of training where to bring that person up to scratch. No matter how much experience they have, they have to still understand your business, what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve. And sometimes that takes a few weeks to get them to the level where you want them to be, regardless of how experienced they are, because obviously you know that they're working for different companies as well.
That's
So
right.
basically you have to just ensure that you have that much time set aside just in case you have to train them, or work with them to some extent to get them to scratch.
I love it. Do you know, I was when I started my journey in entrepreneurial world, I didn't have much confidence and I was just building myself up. And I just knew that all I wanted to do have my financial independency. And that was my first thing that I wanted to achieve as a woman. And then it was my childhood dream. I was going towards my fashion because I started as an alteration
Yeah, you've
service.
mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, I told you this before. So, and then I turned that into a fashion label because it was my dream, but I never thought going back that would happen. So I built it up slowly. And what I always have done, I'd like to recommend this to all our listeners, that you have to do intentional networking. Like Tomi says, she has got a file of people in her diary that she
Hmm.
can just call up, knowing they are, because and they also know what you do.
Hmm.
That is so effective when it comes to business. Would you
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah, it's very effective, because when you need something, that's not when you want to be running helter skelter, who can do this, who can do that. You
Yeah,
have to just have them. You might have a couple of more businesses that do the same thing. It's fine, but just keep
yeah,
that information there, because you're going to need that. It's all about
yeah.
building your contact base, and I'm so glad that we're able to go out now. I connect a lot of social media, and although right now there are what's it called, networking events, but it's not a lot, and I really do wish that more can start happening. A lot are still online, and offline it's amazing. You get to speak to people, you build relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and that is where you get the contacts from. I've got so many contacts, a different industry, and I feel that algorithm in on my social media is probably crazy, because it's different people. I just don't focus on one industry. I just go, different industry, because you never know, when someone comes in, even from engineering company, from different
Different
connection
industries,
in
yeah.
the different industry, and that's what my algorithm and LinkedIn is crazy. So
Mine too. I love connecting with people. I mean, this is how we
yeah,
connected. I made friend with Forbes Riley, and she put
yeah,
us together, knowing that
yeah,
we
yeah,
would connect and we would
yeah,
make
yeah, yeah.
we would make
I
power.
hope that there's gonna be more events anyway, because I feel that you could build a lot of more relationship, because say for example online event is fine, but how do you then you know build this kind of, you can talk to someone in an event for like 5-10 minutes,
I want
get
to
to
give you a
know them.
hug.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, fabulous.
So I don't know how this winter's gonna be like, but hey.
Well, I could talk to you for hours, but I want to ask you last question. As this is interview series all about confidence and how it leads to success. When it comes to brand and media marketing, what would be your one tip that you could give to our listeners, the entrepreneurs, that would help their confidence in branding and marketing?
I would say start speaking in front of a camera. That is the
Love
one
it.
thing that most people shy away from. Most people don't like, especially professionals. When you work with companies, corporate companies, because of, I don't know, the restriction on social media, a lot of people don't speak. And now there's so much online meetings going on, virtual meetings going on, you have to build that confidence behind camera, because media goes a long way when it comes to marketing. If you want people, if you want to stand out, if you want to elevate your brand, if you want to gain better exposure and engagement, start speaking in front of a camera. The first probably 40 videos are going to be rubbish, but it's okay.
But just
You don't
do it
want to see,
anyway. You build
yeah,
confidence like
yeah,
muscle, ladies. You don't just
yeah.
happen to wake up with it.
Mhm. It improves your communication, it improves
Absolutely.
your confidence, and you will be amazed how you will be transformed personally and also with your business as well. So
Yeah.
if there's one advice is utilize media, speak in front of camera, you know, to elevate your brand, elevate yourself, gain better exposure because people would engage more. And it doesn't really matter. Whoever doesn't engage, it's fine. But I'll give you a good example. A lot of the videos I've done in the past, because I've gone quiet now for over like a couple of months, and I'm just going to start back again. A lot of couple of businesses that I have had on board, none of them have engaged in terms of like or commented or whatever, but has heard me speak, right? And it was because of that that they worked with me. That was because they've heard about me, what I say. They had it at the back of their mind and they would contact me. Eventually, we were sort of connected. And that was the only reason, maybe not only reason, part of the reason why they
You build
worked.
trust, don't you? They know
Yeah,
who is behind that brand.
yeah,
They
yeah,
want to see the passion in front, like
yeah,
in their
yeah.
eyes. They want to see who is this woman.
Yeah, but and that is not built overnight. That
No.
is going to take a while to do. So I would say start
Mm,
now, and you would be transformed with regards to
love it.
who you are.
Love it. It's never too late, ladies. It's never too
Yeah.
late. Thank you, Tomi. It's
And
been a
yeah,
real
and
pleasure.
to add to that, yeah, and to add
Tell
to
me.
that, like the one of the things that I'm helping businesses with is to have a free promotional video. So it could be a video for your products. It could be a video for yourself. I don't. We
Podcast.
don't. Yeah,
I've
it's
got
just a
podcasts coming out, so it's good.
podcast. Yes, yes, yes. That's definitely. So it doesn't. It could be any form of video, whatever you want that video to be, and that is a free video, free promotional video, and that
So
is
is
on the
that your
web.
gift for our listeners?
That is my gift. Yes.
How generous is that? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Ladies,
Yeah.
do connect with Tomi. I'm going to share all her contact details on the show notes. And oh my
Mhm.
God, that's
Yeah.
a lot of effort, Tomi. That's so generous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So whatever you have, send it. I mean, if you go to the link, get our details there, we'll connect with you. Whatever you
Okay.
have, whether it's pictures, whether it's some videos anyway, we'll put that into a very, have that edited properly, professionally for whatever you want to use it for. So
Oh
that's on
goodness.
bigcellmedia.com/free video.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tomi. So it's been such a pleasure to have you. Ladies,